Oh my god, I can't believe one of the games in Squid Game Season 4 USA is called Tightrope. That will be insane to watch. I can't believe that. You won't believe the things that are leaked about Squid Game Season 4. They are insane. But I think my personal favorite out of all of them are going to be the games that will be played in Season 4. I'm talking about the complete chaos in the form of childhood games. I'm pretty sure you're all shocked at how wild the games got in Seasons 2 and 3. Like and subscribe right now if you're excited for Squid Game Season 4, and for good luck. Now, let's start at the top. The first game is Red Light Green Light. I've seen a lot of people recommending so many games that could replace Red Light Green Light as the opener. And these are all interesting recommendations. I saw someone recommend Truth or Dare, but I really think the truth doesn't matter in Squid Games. Only death matters. I saw someone recommend Spin the Bottle, and I'll be honest, that was actually a really cool idea. But I still don't think that would work. But it's too small of a game for its opener. There are a lot of players in the first game in Season 4. There might even be more players than the usual amount in Seasons 2 and 3. So having Spin the Bottle might be cool, but it might have to be played in groups. And that doesn't have the impact that Red Light Green Light has on all the players at once. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Red Light Green Light as the first game. I like to say Red Light Green Light is kind of like the initiation into the games. You go into the arena as a naive person and come out dead or with your eyes opened to reality of the world you entered. So yeah, for our opener, I'll stick with Red Light Green Light, regardless of the recommendations and suggestions and theories. I mean, I really believe that the creator of the series knew exactly what he was doing when he made Red Light Green Light, the opener of the game. He knew exactly why it was the only game he repeated and didn't change any aspects of it. And in all honesty, I can't wait to see how the players in the next season will react to the game. Just imagine that you're a player in the games. Wait, you haven't thought of that yet? Well, I don't believe that. I think we've all imagined ourselves as players in Squid Game, and imagined ourselves taking different directions and decisions. I think if I was in Season 4 and the first person was shot, I think I probably would faint. But seriously though, I wouldn't move at all. Not because I'm taking the game seriously or anything like that. No, I wouldn't move because I would feel complete frozen, in shock and frightened. It will take a miracle for me to move. How about you guys? How do you think you'd react if you were a player? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, our second game is tic-tac-toe. I know you guys were curious about what the second game would be. Well, I was excited to tell you this one as well. This one will be a technical game. I'm talking psychological warfare type. Remember when the players get back to the dormitory, they are traumatized and shocked, and some of them will want to leave. That's when the voting system will be introduced. But it will only be introduced after players have seen the cash in the piggy bank. And I don't know about you, but there's something about seeing raw cash that is just so exciting and captivating for humans. The perfect example for me is spending. I could go buy something that is kind of expensive that if I paid with my card or on my phone, I don't really feel like I'm spending. It's like sending a message. But if I were to count out the same amount in cash, oh my god, it would feel so different to let that money go. So yeah, seeing all that cash in the piggy bank would be enough to convince a lot of players to keep playing, as the usual, especially with the promise of more money being added as more players die. Now, you're probably wondering what all this has to do with the second game. Well, here's where it gets interesting. Remember, the players who voted to stay and continue playing are given a badge with the letter O on it, and those who vote to end the game and leave are given X. Well, the next game, the players will play tic-tac-toe, and the two sides of the votes are going to play against each other. I'm already feeling excited by just imagining it. The tic-tac-toe table will be drawn on the floor, and each space will be wide enough for the person to stand on, because they will literally be standing on the table. X players will play as X, and O players will play as O. To make things more interesting, there will be a timer on the game to put players more on edge, and any team that loses will all be eliminated, and any match that ends in a draw will be played again. But if there's no winners for 3 straight rounds, all the players will be killed. Yep, such cruel terms and conditions are the true nature of Squid Game. With such rules in place, every player will be relentless and have a lot of anxiety. And people will make a lot of bad decisions when they are anxious. We know that for a fact. Well, that's all for our second game. Time for us to move on the third game. The third game is called Four Corners. It will be like an Uno reverse card, because it's still a group game, but instead of groups playing to survive together, they will be the cause of each other's death. I honestly think one of the most tasking things about Squid Games is that the players form bonds with one another, and from time to time, they are forced to betray each other. And that's what's going to happen here. Because remember that the players must have an option to pick their teams in the previous game. X players had the option to pick their teammates from the X category of voters and such. And after the tic-tac-toe game, those who survived would have bonded even more in the dormitory. But with this new game, they will have to expand their teams a little bit. And of course, they will pick from people they like. The third game will be Four Corners. This game will be a problem because it's completely unfair. It involves 5 people going into a square room. Each person will go to each corner of the room, and the 5th person will stand in the middle of the room blindfolded. The player in the middle has to point to a corner of the room, and any corner he or she points to will be shot at by the guards, killing the player that is in the corner. After the first death, the players have a chance to silently change their corners before the player in the middle points again. The player who is pointing will only have 3 opportunities to point at a player. If by the end of these 3 chances, he or she hasn't successfully killed 3 players, then he will be killed. Like I said, the game is unfair and problematic. The first player who dies doesn't have it fair at all. It's just so crazy and cruel, but that's what Squid Game's about, right guys? Now, we still have a few more on this list. Now for our 4th game, it's called Tightrope. Our first game took calmness and athleticism, our second game required smarts, and our third game relied on chance. Now, our 4th game will need stamina. Don't worry, it doesn't require any form of grouping or team formation. In this game, it's all man for himself, or woman, and whoever has the most stamina wins. Our 4th game is a very effed up version of Tightrope. In this game, players will have to walk on a rope from one side to the other, and of course, the rope will be elevated to a high point that will kill any player who falls from it. You know, I thought about even a crueler version in which players would have to carry a cup of water on their palms as they walked on the rope. If the cup of water fell from their hand, they'd be shot. But I thought that was just too extreme. I mean, like, very extreme. The tightrope walking on an elevated point was already difficult enough. First, there's the problem of heights. There might be those scared of heights. Then there's a problem of staggering on the rope, shaking. Okay. Scratch what I said, it will take more than stamina to survive this game. It'll take whatever god you believe in. Oh, just talking about the 4th game is just crazy, and I can't believe this would be the craziest game in my opinion. That was terrifying. Now, let's see what the 5th game holds for us. Our 5th game is called Double Dutch. This game was particularly difficult for me to come to terms with because it's very excessive. Now, this is similar to the jump rope, but it's a lot more extreme and dangerous. Perhaps one of the reasons it is as dangerous as I say is because it's done with 2 ropes coming from the opposite directions. And the ropes aren't actually just normal ropes, but are sharp strings that could cut a human in 2. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It will be the bloodiest game in Squid Game history, because the game will literally cause blood to be sprayed on other players. Ugh, that is just evil and diabolical. Anyways, for the players to pass this level, they will have to get to the other side of the game as well. And I don't really see how they will do that. There is an honest chance that not more than 5 players will pass on this level, but that's if they will get to that number. I actually considered the ropes being on fire to make everything more dramatic, but I don't know. Can you picture that in your head? This is already too difficult in my opinion. Adding fire will just be too excessive. Okay. Without much more delay, let's jump into our final game now. Number 6 is Lava Squid Game. This is the game that will decide who leaves with the millions. Now, I think it goes without saying that the final game has to be Squid Game. I mean, sure, a lot of people have suggested a lot of mind-blowing games for the final game, but if Squid Game isn't being played in Squid Game, then the show and the whole game shouldn't be called Squid Game. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Squid Game as the final game, but I'm gonna give it a touch of its own. So you know how season 3 ended with Sky Squid Game? Well, this will be an alternative to The Floor is Lava. So basically players will play Squid Game and kill each other to try push each other off a platform in forms of the shape of Squid Game. And the floor other than the Squid Game platform is lava. Yeah, liquid fire. Crazy, right? Well, Squid Game is a crazy game. And to be honest, it takes more than it gives. But hey, money is always an issue, and humans are a gambling species. I mean, how else can you explain thinking that out of hundreds of people, you'll be the one to win the game that could get the money? That's just suicide. Anyways, when someone wins this game, it's gonna be insane. But what do you guys think about this so far? Do you think these 6 games will occur? I believe red light, green light is confirmed because it's in every season, and that's just the iconic game of Squid Game. But that's about it for this video. Let me know what you think truly about this down below. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe once again. And you guys can check out my recent video. I'll put it in the middle of the screen right now. Until then, also let me know what other videos I should make on this channel. I'm kind of running ideas about season 4. It's getting kind of out of control. Anyways, see you guys. Peace out and take care. Goodbye.